Hello YouTube, it is Mars, back again with another character redesign. As you can probably see, today I'll be redesigning Raven. I've got a couple of reference pictures up on the corner, and I've already redrawn the Teen Titans costume so that when I'm finished with this redesign, you can look at them side by side, and any changes you'll be able to tell if they're stylistic or if they're actually consciously made character design choices. I love Raven from Teen Titans. I've always loved her since I was little. She's kind of the first comic book character that I got really into. She's the only halfway good cosplay I've ever done. I never knew if I had a crush on her, or if I just wanted to be her, or if I just wanted to make her less sad all the time and be a good friend. But it would be a understatement to say I probably draw her more than I draw any other character. And I draw her in just about every costume she has. So this was a really fun video for me to make because I just love drawing her. I think she's cute. She has a good silhouette. She has easy hair. It's just straight and you can style it in all types of ways. For the redesign, I wanted to put it half up and half down. So she's got it pulled back into a little bun in the back. I thought that this was very something her character would do because she does tend to go for the more sensible approach to things, and this way she can still look, mysterious and interesting, but still have her hair out of her face, which I think is important for every superhero to be able to see what they're doing. I even gave, in my last video, I did Starfire, and I gave her flame hair, but I still put it up in a scrunchie because you can't have that stuff flying all over the place in battle unless you're using it as a weapon. Here I'm outlining her silhouette. As you can see, I've already put the stones, the red stones, on the top of her sleeve. She has this in the Teen Titans versus Justice League movie, and it's one of my favorite designs for her because it's very akin to the Teen Titans cartoon costume, but it's different enough. It's like more not realistic, of course. She is a half demon superhero, but I feel like it makes more sense. It's more sensible than her original costume. And going along with that, in the Teen Titans DC Universe costume, she has leggings, which I also think makes sense because going bare-legged into battle, although it might make sense for Starfire, it doesn't quite seem aligned with Raven's sensibilities. She's a lot more to herself and mysterious, and so what I gave her for her main costume is I'm giving her a sort of sweater dress type outfit, and leggings and little boots, but I have drawn them. I'm giving her boots that are pretty similar to the ones that she wears in the Teen Titans cartoon. She actually is a boots type of gal, it seems. She wears them in almost every design, whether they be up to her thighs, her knees, or if they're just ankle boots. I got rid of her dangly belt because dangly things and superheroes flying around don't mix, I don't think, so I gave her a more sensible belt and then went right on ahead to give her a dangly necklace, which I promise I'm not a huge hypocrite. I realized why that didn't make sense later and I fixed it. What I do keep about it though is it's a little Raven skull. One of my favorite things about Raven is all of her Raven motifs, and she has a lot of them in her more recent material. I know in the Teen Titans Go TV show, there's like a 1980s music video episode, and I'm such a dork for Teen Titans Go. I'm just deprived of Teen Titans content, so I'll watch anything. But in the 1980s costume, she has like a raven skull on her hood, and it looks very cool. I really like it. Here I am putting the stone as her centerpiece for her cape. On that note of her cape, I made her cape silhouette a little bit differently. I wanted to keep the main silhouette the same, but I made it more sleek because I imagine Raven, she used a lot of very ghostly movements, and she's just a very phantasmal character. She uses shadows and she's very spooky, so I thought something that would kind of go with that is a more slick looking cape, so she can kind of like flit in and out of sight of her enemies and make them paranoid, because that just kind of seems like the type of thing she'd do. I think as you just saw, I gave her the raven skull as the centerpiece for her cape, which I end up keeping. Like I said, do love myself a good old raven skull motif. I put some laces on her boots, so they're not just booties. Like I said, gotta be functional, can't be wearing shoes that are gonna slip off during a superhero battle. The coloring was the thing that I had the most trouble with, because I'm always very conflicted with whether to go blue or purple. She is blue very often. Her name is Raven. They've got that kind of black blue oil slick sheen, and she has that black blue oil slick sheen on like all of her costumes. It's kind of a staple, but I did deviate because it is a redesign. I love a good old purple toned Raven costume. It's more common in her newer designs, like in Teen Titans Go, but also in the current comic book run that she's in, and I just love the look of it. And I think it also is fitting because she is technically like a princess of the underworld, and purple is, the color of royalty, so I think it makes sense on that level. But also, I just feel like Raven would like purple. I feel like it would be her color, and I think it looks really nice with her gray skin. I make the cape two-toned because that's just how it always is for her. I think it adds a really good color dimension to her character. I would always get so frustrated when I was little because she'd always have, her costume would always be like her in her cloak with her hoodie over her face. Like, looking back on it, if you rewatch the show, you rarely see Raven's face or body, and I just loved seeing her. I thought she was so cute, and every time she would not be wearing the cape, I would be like, it's Ray. I would lose my mind a little bit, because like I said, I was a little obsessed with her. She's just very mysterious that way. I think that show kind of captured that a lot in that aspect with such a simple cartoon style. I did keep her gray skin. I know a lot of times she has human toned skin, which I don't have a problem with. It's not one of those things that I get all up in arms about. It's actually, there's like discourse about it if you look into it on the internet. But I do prefer the gray skin because I think it's just more unique looking, and it adds a kind of ghoulish aspect to her character that I like. Raven has this dual personality type, not really a dual personality thing, but she has this character aspect like, gee whiz, what's her name? The girl, Marceline in Adventure Time, where Marceline can either be like this cool, edgy vampire girl, or she can be a scary bat monster. And Raven tends to do that. She can either be a cool, edgy demon girl, or she can turn into this like really scary shadow tentacle monster. Love that. Think it's a lot of fun. 10 out of 10 character design. But yeah, I think that's part of what makes all of that come together, is her dual, her ability to look so scary and become like a different entity, because she is after all kind of an empath and a telepath, and she can control other people's visions of her. Right here, I'm just kind of messing with the colors some more and making it have that more oil slick look, kind of like how raven feathers do have. That's what I did on her bodysuit. Her hair, I'm just kind of blocking in purple. I do end up adding the purple tip, or the red tips, like she has in the current comic book run, where it's the Teen Titans with Damian Wayne as Robin, which I'm a huge fan of. I think it's super cute. Super cute. It's very cool. But ooh, I get rid of those highlights right away. But I give her the red tips because honestly, I always draw with red tips now. As soon as I saw that character design, it like got released in 2015 or 2016. I was like, well, that's my new canon. Every time I draw a Raven, I'm giving her red tips because she's a cute, edgy teenager, and that's what I'm here for. I'm adjusting the color on the gold because it turned a little pinkish when I was fixing the rest of the costume, and I'm gonna add some purple blushies. I think I go in with some, yep, there I go. I go in with some white for the eyes, but I ended up not liking it and just making it a simpler kind of style. Sometimes less is more when it comes to cartoons. And I go in with cell shading, and again, I get rid of a bunch of it because less is more sometimes. Not always. Depends on your style. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I had a ton of fun with this redesign. I have been looking forward. This is kind of always the idea I've had when I thought of doing YouTube, was like, I'll just draw Raven over and over again. I hope if you liked what you saw in this video that you go check out my other video and maybe subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see any of my other work, you can find me at Mars Illustrations on Instagram or Patreon or Facebook. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!